If you're looking for an absolutely stunning and delicious holiday centerpiece, then this vegan ham, aka vegan brown sugar glazed tofu, is exactly what you need. First up, you're going to add your first frozen, then thawed tofu into a tofu press and let it press out the liquid for at least 30 minutes, but you can also do this overnight as well.
Just like in our last video, which I will link somewhere up here, you do want to freeze your tofu in the package with the water still first, then thaw it out, and then put it in the tofu press like you just saw in the last clip. We recommend doing this any single time that you are wanting a meat-like texture from your tofu. It gives you the best results every single time, even if it takes a little bit more effort.
If you don't have a tofu press, then you can take your block of tofu and place it inside of a kitchen towel and then fold it up. Place something heavy like a cast iron skillet on the top so it pushes out all the juices. Now our brown sugar glaze. I like to do this in a pot because we are going to heat up what we don't spread over our tofu during the baking time. Brown sugar, agave, pineapple juice, and then some Dijon mustard.
There is a range of Dijon mustard listed inside of the written recipe. If you like more tang in your brown sugar sauce, then you are going to want to add the higher end of the Dijon mustard listed. If you want a more savory sauce, not so much of a tang, you're going to add a little bit less. And it's just like a tablespoon difference, but it does make a difference when we're talking about the tanginess that you get.
Some liquid smoke, and then our spices, which are cinnamon, ginger, cloves, and some black pepper. Then finally some vegan ham flavoring, then we are just going to whisk that together really well until we get a very smooth-like consistency.
For a vegan ham flavoring, this is the one. There we go. This is the one that we use. It is from Orrington Farms. It says vegan ham flavoring right there. I will link where to buy it inside of the description box. Highly recommend if you are looking for the most authentic ham flavoring, what you remember it tasting like, you use something like this. Otherwise, you can still make this recipe without using something like a vegan ham flavoring. I just think it gives it a lot better taste, but it will still taste good even if you don't use it.
Once your tofu is pressed, you're going to remove it, and I just want to show you all of the water that gets pressed out of there. If not pressed, all of this water would impact your flavor. Gently pat the outside of your tofu block dry, and then you are going to cut it into your desired sizes. Here, I'm cutting in half and then cutting in half again for a total of 4 pieces. Then you're just going to lay each of your pieces face up, and we're going to do a shallow cross-hatching pattern across the top. You want to make sure that you are using a sharp knife for this process. You just want to cut diagonally one way and then the opposite way to create a diamond-like pattern.
We are doing the cross-hatching for two different reasons. One is because it is pretty and we like pretty things, but it also gives a more authentic look. But the second reason is when you do a cross-hatching pattern, it allows the sauce to really go down inside of the layers of your tofu and really penetrate the different layers that you've created by freezing your tofu ahead of time, and it just tastes a lot better. Highly recommended. Just one big tip is do not cut your tofu all the way down, because then it is more likely to break apart, or you're just gonna have a couple different pieces instead of just one solid block that you've cut it into.
Inside the written post, it says to cut each block in half just once for a total of 4 pieces, and I just want to show the thickness difference here when doing that. When I'm hosting people for the holidays and I'm not sure if they will like this or not, I prefer to do the smaller versions so they can get more of a taste of it versus wasting a bunch if they don't. Inside a casserole dish, I added about a 1/3 cup of the sauce and spread it evenly over the bottom of the dish, and then you're just going to lay your pieces of tofu inside of there. Then we are going to take a pastry brush and gently brush over the tops and all of the sides of our tofu, really making sure to cover everything that you see, and you shouldn't see any big white pieces left. You can also try to get the sauce between your cross-hatching pattern, but if you do this, make sure you do it carefully. Then place some pineapple slices over the top, and then right into the oven it goes to bake.
Once you put it inside of your oven, you are going to pull it out every 15 minutes and brush more of your sauce that is in the pot over top of it. This not only helps to keep your tofu moist, but also continues to add levels of flavor into your tofu while it is cooking.
Any sauce that you have left over after the last brushing, you're going to heat up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit so that the ham flavoring is able to be eaten, since it shouldn't be eaten raw. And then pour that over the top of your dish when done. I do want to mention that if you add the pineapple, you're going to get a much lighter color at the end of your tofu versus not adding it. You're going to get a much deeper, darker color to the top. Nothing wrong with either, but just explaining why you may see a difference. In the end, you have this amazingly delicious meal.
This vegan ham is a must-make for any holiday table. Full recipe at makeitdairyfree.com or in the description. Enjoy. Have a good week.